Hello everyone! Today we have r/FyouKaren, and today Karens hate dogs. My first Karen? So yesterday afternoon, me and my dog are sitting in the car at Walmart waiting for my husband who ran in to grab a few things. It's not super hot, but it's clear summer is on its way. All four windows were open and I had the keys in case it became too hot and I wanted AC. From the next car over, I hear a woman saying, "Ah, what a pretty doggy!" She's a pretty girl. Have never had people compliment my dog so much, lol. I look over smiling and waiting for the inevitable "can I pet her?" question. Instead, she says, "And what disgusting owners!" She reaches in her car and pulls out a bottle of water like she's about to give it to me. Quick background about my dog. She came from mistreating home where they kept her kennel 24/7. I'd like to reintroduce a kennel, but later on. I don't want her to associate it with punishment anymore. She's also got separation anxiety, so she comes with us when we go out. There is a dog bowl in the car, and I always grab her a refrigerated water before we leave the house. She says something about how dogs should be left at home and how thirsty the dog must be. But the dog wasn't even panting at that moment. Pissed off, I grab the water bottle that's in the car to show her, as well as the bowl. Of course, she doesn't apologize or say anything else. Inwardly, I prepare to explain to the lady that she cannot be left alone at home, that she'd actually be miserable and destructive. Instead, I roll up the windows, turn on the AC, and flip her off. Not only I am not good at talking when upset, I fumble and stammer my words. I doubt hearing them would do any good anyway. This old, unpleasant woman just wants to make assumptions and be a butthole. Not sure if this makes her a Karen or more involvement and interference is required, but screw that dumb butt lady! Exactly, screw her. I understand if she would ask, "Do you have water for your dog? Today is a hot day. Do you need help? I have an extra bottle of water. Do you want it?" No, she's just like, "Oh, you disgusting." Ugh, lady, look in the mirror. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Rant from pet sitter dealing with an overbearing dog mom Karen. Okay, I apologize. This is long, but I just wanted to vent about a frustrating experience I had with a client the other day. I'm a dog walker, pet sitter, and have been working for a small company for 6 months now. I've owned pet all my life and have worked in a doggy daycare before, so it isn't like I had no prior experience working with animals before working with this company. Now, even with my prior experience, there are still learning curves with each new pet in my care, and it sometimes takes me a bit to figure out different equipment like harnesses, collars, cones, especially because I want to make sure they are on correctly for the animal's safety. On Tuesday morning, I had 2 German Shepherds to feed, walk, and give medication. One of the dogs wears a cone due to a medical issue that he is recovering from, and I needed to take the cone off to feed him. When I went to put the cone back on, there was a broken piece hanging that I didn't want to mess with even further, so it was taking me some time to figure out the correct way to get the cone on. I started hearing some noise coming from the dog camera, and it was the owner. It was hard to hear what she was saying, but she sounded frustrated. As I'm working through trying to get the cone on, she starts yelling at me, "That's not right!" So I take a second try and look at the cone to put it on the right way, and the dog goes to lick its paw and the owner yells, "Do you even have a dog? He's not supposed to do that!" Like, duh, I know. So now I'm flustered and I am trying to get this cone on and make sure it's on right. As I've almost got it, she calls me and basically tells me it shouldn't be that hard to put the cone on, which I agree, but it was my first time putting on a cone like that, and having her yell at me wasn't helping the situation. She just talked to me in such a condescending way and treated me like I was a stupid person for not immediately getting it right. I also want to mention that this walk took place around 6 to 6:30 a.m. on the East Coast. When the owner called me, the caller ID was from California. So this means she was up at 3 a.m. watching my every move for the whole visit. I was warned from a coworker the night before that she watches the cameras, but this felt extreme. My coworker also said that she had a similar experience with the client being rude to her and wanted to warn me ahead of time. Also, apparently after my visit, she called one of my managers and was rude to her too. Now, I completely understand as a pet owner, you want to make sure your animals are being cared for properly, especially ones with medical issues, and I also understand it's scary leaving your pet in the care of someone you don't know who isn't super familiar with them. Of course, if there is something I am doing wrong, I want to fix it right away and make sure I'm doing it correctly. But there is no need to yell at me and make me feel stupid in the process. There is a way to talk to people in a respectful manner, and yelling and getting frustrated is only going to make it harder to do my job. The only thing I will give her is that she did apologize on the phone for getting frustrated. But the apology means nothing because she continued to be rude to my managers and other co-workers. According to the owner of the company, she had called to complain with nearly every visit, although we were all doing our best to follow the rules exactly as written in her notes. The rules kept changing too, and it was just so frustrating to try and keep her satisfied. She's just unreasonable and impossible to work with, so luckily we have fired her as a client moving forward. It's such a shame she is the way that she is, because her dogs are absolute sweethearts. Thanks for anyone who had read all of this. I just needed to write it out and vent my frustrations. Oh, we got you! And I am super glad that you will not have to deal with her anymore. Followed for close to a mile by Crazy Karen while walking my dog. Last night, around 10 p.m., I was taking my dog for a walk through the neighborhood. We don't have a yard, so we have to take her 3 times per day so she can do her business. I always pick up after her, and people usually give a friendly wave when they see us, but not tonight. My dog starts doing her duty at the edge of someone's yard while I stand on the street holding the leash. I'm starting to pull out my poop bag when this woman comes running up to us yelling, "Don't let your dog poop here!" I was surprised and weirded out, but I told her, "Don't worry, I am picking it up." She keeps getting closer to us yelling, "No! Don't let your dog poop on my property! My window is open, and I don't want to smell it! Control your dog! Make your dog stop!" My dog is mid-third at the moment, so I explained that dogs don't work that way. I told her I cannot stop her from pooping, but I will pick it up. The lady is not listening to me and just keeps getting closer to us, yelling about the dog poop or something. My dog starts growling at her, so I warn her by saying, "Please don't get close to my dog, she does bite." Then the lady says, "Okay, I'm calling the cops, they're gonna arrest you." I say, "That's fine," and ask her to please go in her home and call the cops. She tries to enter her house, but it seems whoever she lives with has locked her out of the house. I wonder why. She starts running toward me again, and I again warn her that my dog will bite. My dog is growling and barking now because dogs don't like screaming Karens in their face. Karen starts screaming at me to pick up the poop and that she's calling the police to have me arrested, etc. I said, "Ma'am, I'll deal with that later. Right now, your hostile behavior is creating an unsafe situation for me and my dog, so we're going to leave now." She starts screaming profanities, calling me names, and chasing after me. I just continue to walk away, thinking it will end there. Nope! She continues to follow me down the street. I hear her yelling into her phone at the police to come arrest me. I hear her telling them I threatened her with dog bite. She has a thick Asian accent. I just keep walking, knowing the cops are telling her to go home and they'll deal with it later, or never. She continues to walk behind me at about a 15-foot distance. She's now yelling in another language at someone who I assume is the person who locked her out of the house. I hope she'll stop following me eventually so I can go home. I don't want her to see where I live, so I take several detours, but she just keeps following me from 15 feet away. I don't have my phone, so I cannot call for help. I decide to head into the downtown area to find someone to help. The lady followed me almost a mile into town. From 15 feet away, she just silently followed me, walking my dog through neighborhoods, business districts, and across the highway into town. She had her phone out recording me. I was getting really annoyed and made it to a busy bar with 5 men standing outside. Unfortunately, they are all speaking in a foreign language as well. I turn around and tell the lady to stop following me. She starts yelling, "You follow me back to my house for police to arrest you. You threatened me dog bite. Follow me now. Police won't arrest you. I told her, sure, I'll follow you. You lead the way. She almost fell for it, but she saw me try to slip away and turned around and started her whole yelling thing again. The young men outside the bar just kept talking amongst themselves. I continued walking through town with the lady following, recording me on her phone. I finally ran into a woman who approached me with a very concerned look on her face. I said, "Can you please help me? This lady has been following me for over an hour." The nice lady said, "I know, I've been watching this go on for a minute." She confronted the Karen, telling her to leave me alone. The nice lady looked at me and said, "Just go." So while Karen was busy yelling at the nice lady about how my dog pooped or whatever, I just started running. I ran through a couple businesses onto a back street and managed to lose Karen. I walked a full mile back to my house and I locked the door behind me. I don't know what kind of crazy that was. All I know is that I feel really bad for whoever was inside that house with the door locked. I hope they're okay. Well, hopefully next time you will have your phone and you will record the Karen back. Today we effed up by getting to a parking spot first. My friends and I got together today and decided to grab a coffee in the downtown area around one friend's apartment. It was pretty busy today because a nearby college had graduation earlier in the day, and everyone was either trying to get lunch or was just wanting to walk around in their regalia. I had no problem with that. We were trying to find a parking spot, any spot would have sufficed. And were rounding the corner near a public lot when we saw someone parked at the curb starting to pull out. We stopped, waited for them to leave, and slowly started to pull in. The exit to the public lot was right there, and the traffic going the other direction was busy. So my friend, who was driving, didn't want to hit anyone or cause an accident. This one when we hacked up. Someone who was coming out of the public lot had their turn signal on, but didn't cut their wheel or angle their car towards the spot on their passenger side. They weren't even actually out of the lot, or even in the curb cut. There was no indication they had intent to park there, except their turn signal, which, when turning into oncoming traffic, only meant they were turning. In lieu of any indication they were going for the spot, my friend slowly pulled forward. Immediately, the driver starts honking, not a long honk, more like a lot of short honks. And both he and the woman in the passenger seat start flicking their arms toward the spot. We were already halfway into the spot with people behind us in traffic, so we parked quick to let them pass. The driver immediately pulled up next to us in the middle of a busy street, and the entire car rolled down their windows to scream at us. They were so close that we could hear them shouting even though our windows were closed. I didn't think to record until the backseat passenger flipped us off, then stuck her arm out of the window to emphasize that she was flipping us off, as if we couldn't see it already. I was more worried that she was reaching toward my friend's car to throw something or try and hit the windows. They mimicked crying, which made no sense because we were just sitting there staring at them in confusion, and kept flipping us off and shouting until they drove away. The backseat passenger tried to throw her coffee at my friend's car, but did such a piss-poor job of it that most of it was on the outside of their car. Barely a tablespoon actually hit my friend's car. Don't worry, I started recording the minute the back passenger stuck her arm out of the window to flip us off. The coffee place we were going to was right next door, so we just got out and went about our day. One of us did stay behind to make sure they could film if the family came back and tried to annoy us again. Luckily, they did not. My friend thinks that they didn't come back because I was recording what they were doing, and you can see two of their faces and what they are doing very, very clearly. I cannot post it here because there is no option to post a video, but if I could, I would. I've never had that happen to me before, and honestly, it was kind of funny to watch someone get that upset over a parking space. It wasn't even marked or metered or anything. It was just empty parkable space. Crazy. It's a pity that we couldn't watch the video. I'm sure we would enjoy it. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. You can also watch that awesome video or this awesome playlist. See you next time.